He spent all those years in Minnesota. They could not build a championship team around him. He leaves, goes and teams up in Boston, and then wins a ring his first year there. That has to stick in the craw of every Minnesota fan. You can have some secondhand love. That's like showing up at your ex's wedding with a bottle of champagne. I'm happy for you. You're really not. You know what I mean? Their fans really not. Can you imagine if Anthony Edwards left Minnesota, went to LA, won a championship? They'd fold the franchise. So I think Minnesota has earned it because they've suffered enough.
That's fair. Perk, go ahead.
Well, let me chime in on this part. Minnesota better get it right, because if Vinny is highlighting this, and those are great points, you know who else is watching this? Anthony Edwards. You know who else wants to win the NBA championship? Anthony Edwards. And I know we going off topic, but let me say this, okay? Karl-Anthony Towns being traded to the New York Knicks, the Minnesota Timberwolves picking Rudy Gobert over Karl-Anthony Towns because of, quote-unquote, the second apron, and now Karl-Anthony Towns winning the NBA championship. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The Minnesota Timberwolves are right there at the top as far as worst trades in NBA history. They gave up on Karl-Anthony Towns. Especially what we just saw the Karl-Anthony Towns accepting the challenge of being able to play the center position, being able to anchor a defense, the trust that Mike Brown and his coaching staff had in him. It wasn't we didn't hear all that Karl-Anthony Towns don't want to play center, he's a pop. No. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns somewhat outplay Victor Wembanyama. Now, I know you could go to the stat sheets and say, well, Victor averaged 28 and 10. No, the eye test showed me that the Spurs had to hide the defensive player of the year after games 1 and game 2 because Karl-Anthony Towns was taking it to him. Karl-Anthony Towns getting in foul trouble in game 4 in that epic comeback, but still quietly had a solid double-double. And so when I think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I'm thinking about Anthony Edwards and all those things that Vinny just highlighted, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the clock. When I say on the clock, like, they have to make some moves, and they got to make sure that Anthony Edwards is happy. They cannot afford to lose another #1 pick. Kevin Garnett went to the Boston Celtics, won the NBA championship. At his Hall of Fame speech, he said the only regret he had is not getting to Boston earlier. Karl-Anthony Towns, another former #1 overall pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves, champion with the New York Knicks. Don't let history continue to repeat itself and Anthony Edwards have to leave to go somewhere else to win the NBA championship. Like, we talking about a lot of moves that's probably going to be made this offseason. I expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to be very aggressive and make some changes and do some things to make sure that they keep Anthony Edwards satisfied and happy down there in Minnesota.
Okay, and it doesn't help the fact that they've been so close lately as well. What have they made the Western Conference Finals 2 out of the last 3 years? Like, they've sniffed it, been so close. Are you going to agree with Vin, though, and say Minnesota, or do you have another city that you think deserves a parade?
No, Shay, Vinny, I'm going to be a homer. Damn it, we need some life down in H-Town. Y'all got to understand, I grew up a Rockets fan. Akeem Olajuwon. Like, I used to go to True Value and pay less, and I got me some Akeem Olajuwons with the big 34 on the side of the shoe, man. Like, I'm ready for that energy to come back. We had hope when James Harden got to Houston, and him and CP3 was battling with the Golden State Warriors, and then all of a sudden the Warriors went out and got Kevin Durant, and then they killed those dreams. And then all of a sudden we saw life 2 years ago with Ime Udoka. And then all of a sudden, Dylan Brooks bringing that tenacity. Jalen Green, we was like, okay, the Rockets finished number 2 in the West. Hard-fought battle against Golden State in the first round. End up getting, knocked out by the Warriors and Steph Curry. And then they went and got Kevin Durant. And then all of a sudden, the city had life again. All of a sudden, we started to see the billboards and stuff like that, and people started to believe. And what happened again? Another failed season, another disappointing season where they went up against a senior citizen in LeBron James and got knocked out in the first round. Again, the city of Houston is ready for another championship in basketball. I don't think y'all understand. The city is so excited right now because the Comets are coming back. Right, because we have another WNBA team. I'm invested into Houston basketball. Like, I was around, I used to go to see Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, Cheryl Swoops. Like, I'm really invested into that. Like, I'm a fan. I'm literally a fan. So when I go hard on Kevin Durant, and I go hard on the Houston Rockets about underachieving and guys not elevating, or, the front office saying that trade deadline that certain guys are untouchable, like Alfred Şengün, when Giannis, was somewhat available and they could have, put a package together, but they didn't. They chose to stay put. I got pissed off about that. The Rocket fan base is waiting to explode.
Okay, well, at least you got Durant there. If he's healthy, and then maybe you get a point guard back in VanVleet, maybe there'll be something to talk about. He old. Okay, well, he's still good. He's still good. It doesn't matter that he's old. Speaking of people that are old and still good, how about LeBron? Let's go to the Lakers now, okay? They were able to win one playoff round this year, but then fell short against the Thunder without their star, Luka Doncic, who was out with an injury. The Lakers have promised that they are willing to go all in this summer, according to our own Dave McMenamin. Luka's first and foremost desire is an A-list center. Now, the Lakers have multiple decisions to make this offseason, and there are multiple players who are either unrestricted free agents or have player options. The Lakers could have $50 million in cap space, depending on if they retain their own free agents. And so now let's think a little bit forward here. If the Lakers have both a star center and LeBron James and a healthy Luka Doncic, where could they potentially fall in the West?
Who's the star center?
Well, I don't know. They gotta go get one.
No, not you.
Oh, okay. This is a rhetorical question?
Rhetorical question.
Got it.
Who's the star center? What happens with Austin Reeves? Where's LeBron's quote-unquote number? Not that the number matters, but the number indicates where LeBron believes this team is going to be, because you're going to have to show him a plan for him to invest in. We joke about LeBron is coaching GM, but LeBron is coaching GM kind of has worked. It doesn't. The only time it didn't work, y'all, is when he lobbied for Russell Westbrook. But other times, that usually guarantees a trip to June. The problem is LeBron James will be 42 years old in December. And I don't know if team building with Luka Doncic, if we're going to look at Dallas as the model. And I know that Nico Harrison, it cost him his job trading Luka Doncic. But before he traded Luka Doncic, he built an NBA Finals team around Luka Doncic with very specific